Good morning, mighty potty friends. Welcome to this new edition of the morning briefing. Let's get started right away. Here we are. Perfect. Let's see. Let's do a recap as usual of what happened yesterday. Basically, nothing in the sense that the market did what we expected with the indicated lows, the indicated low area yesterday in the morning briefing, as well as a possible top that could be in short. I was hoping for a recovery. It was not so in short on RD2. The market was rejected. We will see the developments. Today is an important day. There is the very important consumer price index, so pay maximum attention. Then shortly after, there's the inventory data of crude oil. So for those trading commodities, pay close attention. Let's take a look at the developments and what to expect. The other good news for Americans is that last night the shutdown was avoided. So, oh dear. But, an increase in spending. So it was approved by Congress. So at least in this first part, we'll see later what the developments might be of this further. So the situation from a technical point of view, I repeat, the American indices continue to be on a trend for the show. At the moment, what happened yesterday is a classic bounce after the nice, it sustained the drop, of the last few days. I expect a bit more recovery to be honest, probably a test of 19.8, maybe even 20,000. Probably, this could be for those who maybe do multi-day trading. So it's definitely an area where you could try some multi-day shorts for more ambitious targets. Because in my opinion, this bearish wave hasn't completely run its course yet. We'll see later. The developments, but I believe that for now the market is taking a breather, a moment to figure out how to interpret these data expected for this week. Then, there's the deadline this weekend, this Friday, which means if there's a front, we move on to the new contract. So, series of variables to consider, especially for those who do multi-day trading. So, I just do trading. So I make investments, long-term investments, but not from trading. Okay, that said, let's take a closer look. So the situation at the moment regarding the Nasdaq. So there has been this up and down. Yesterday, basically, at the moment, we're still anchored here at the BC3 levels in the range set by this indicator. It's probably, will act within this of this range. There could probably also be a breakout in short towards RD1 calmly, which still remains the area. Absolutely to go through for an attempt to recover upwards. On the downside, obviously, bets are much easier to make in short because the market, when it is then in a bearish phase, it tends to be more volatile, so going down, definitely, the targets are simpler to reach. We'll see. As always, we won't have any preconceived notions. We work or we look at what we have. For now, we have this range situation in short for those who are working. So in these morning hours, it's just 9:30 in Europe. You can definitely take advantage of this range, and manage a bit of your position. So on these swings between the upper and lower parts of this range, it always creates, with the BC3 opening levels. Perfect. Let's move on now. Up to the standard. And even though yesterday it went a bit beyond even the lows we had pointed out, it went on to make new ones. Unlike the Nasdaq, which I will show you again, it did not make new lows compared to the other one yesterday. While the SP made a new low yesterday, this doesn't bode well, so much so that even in the recovery, there was one, but it didn't manage to surpass, the highs while the Nasdaq did. So a bit more, it's hitting a bit harder, to use. It's, it of mechanics, at the moment, even right now, we can see that it's working. While the Nasdaq was working within the GTBC3 range of BC3 levels, the SP is working below the PC3 levels, although above HV. And so, this at the moment makes us. So let's be a little more calm, because that the HV level is the central one. So below that, it becomes more complicated. Then they move past SD1. But surely, the side for a new down day is definitely, easier. I'm broken this support purchase of SD1, which then corresponds more or less with the area of lows made yesterday on the rise. Obviously, we have RD2 with all this area that was already there, since the day before yesterday. Then if it confirmed itself yesterday, we'll see if we can manage it today. We'll be able to get past this zone, which remains the one to monitor. So area 5635, 650 for them. Okay. That said, let's move on to the other two indices that we usually look at here. Okay. Here it is. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. I had made, this nice recovery, but not with excessive volumes. At the moment, it's working, just, in this area that we can define between the BC3 levels and HV and the maximum of the BC3 levels. So this range here can definitely be worked on during the morning, probably until just before the release of the consumer price index data. We'll see, the developments here too. The situation is bearish. There's not much to add about yesterday either. You see, it made an attempt to recover this double bottom that had formed, which could have given us some hope, but then it got pushed back down. Now it's working below it. We'll see if they have the strength to make another attempt, because in the end, it's the maximum obstacle to re-enter with a bullish perspective. On the Dow Jones, it seems pretty clear to me. So this area here seems to me to be the definitive one to get past. The first obstacle, of course, is this one, but then, it will rather be this one to recover downward, obviously. So here too, my levels have been adjusted. The lows have been adjusted. So let's monitor this area of lows here, possibly, or for a first bounce or logo. Eventually, a break of this area would definitely lead to further bearish movements. We're working just below the weekly minimum ranges also for ES. That's why I haven't adjusted them yet. Let's say, because basically we still have the levels of the day, where during the day, obviously, if we were to go beyond these levels, and I will provide, these levels, and I will provide, I will calculate some other levels of lower support where let there be, if there's a need for it. Come on, I also wanted to take a look at the Russell, which yesterday bounced off the area 4 times. So we can see the important support at the 2000 area. Here it has bounced off several times from Monday to Tuesday. So it has bounced off here several times. So the break of this level would lead the price, to take the Russell index, to take the future, to take a nice hit. So this is an important level, if this area breaks. Scenarios are opening up, rather concerning for the review, although up until now, that was the one, that I thought could benefit the most from the field policy. But then regarding the further developments, yesterday there was this additional, Trump statement on tariffs against Canada for steel and aluminum. So therefore, these are all scenarios to come that we can't, of course, make plans, in the sense that the news keeps coming and evolving, constantly changing day by day and shifting. Maybe these are just proclamations and perhaps merely attempts to try to get better conditions during negotiations, to secure more favorable negotiation outcomes and achieve desired results. More cautious and measured. We'll see what the developments will be. Okay, having said that, we need to take a look at the Russell to the two commodities that we usually look at in this morning briefing. We look at oil. Oil, is currently working within the levels, within the BC3 levels. So yesterday there was first, a nice debacle, we pointed it out during the night, then it started up again. So a nice swing, upward that brought prices, back to recovering the upper area, basically of what the day's expectations could be. And then, send it back into the HV area where it then closed. So during the night, this happened. There was an attempt to go up, but it was quickly sent back down. So HV has held this range, and at the moment, that's what it's working with. Remember, as I said at the opening of the data, in the afternoon, early morning for the Americans, obviously for the crude oil inventories, that will definitely provide the water that has a broader movement on the product. Thank you. Let's say that from a broader perspective, as I was saying, we're at important levels, at significant support levels. I don't know if we'll be able to break through 65 or 60. Honestly, at the moment, I think this is an area of stabilization. We'll see if maybe calmer winds could bring the price lower. I'm referring to all the conditions we've already mentioned several times. So in terms of geopolitics, therefore, and that's, what we need to refer to for this asset, let's keep an eye on them. Yesterday, we recovered a bit as we had, speculated in yesterday morning's morning briefing. We have recovered, that range in which we had been working for several days. We're right in the middle. It's tightening even more. Do you see how it's further tightening? We're working within the BCD levels. We'll see if this time they'll make that attempt maybe to break upwards with maybe some celebration. It could be, that there's a negative data point. So the indices that are crashing could lead them to rise, but we'll see. So all of these are assumptions that do not, we shouldn't just look for, we need to do in the sense of having an idea of what the possible scenarios could be. But and then these are ideas that we need to keep there, ready for use. But they shouldn't anchor our decisions. At this point, we've reached the end of this morning briefing. As always, I invite you to leave a like on the video, to follow me on social media X Patreon, on Discord, our Discord channel that is getting richer and richer. We'll talk again later, precisely in chart. Thank you all for your attention, and have a happy trading day.